Let's walk the talk.
702.
Talking about taking a bit of a rest when you are exercising and, taking it easy for one day of the week or for a day or two and balancing your exercise with moderate and extreme or high intensity exercises. We are going to be talking about our phones. Our phones keep us connected, informed, and entertained, but are we spending too much time online? And this morning we look at the importance of a digital detox and what stepping away from our screens can actually do for our mental clarity, sleep and creativity and overall well-being. And we chat this morning to Managing Director, Digital Wellness Consultant at TechBear Online, Mark Russell. Mark, good morning and welcome to the Early Breakfast Show on 702 and CapeTalk.
Thanks, Zain. It's good to be with you.
I was saying that, this irresistant urge to actually be on your phone. You're on your phone in the church, you're on your phone in the mosque, you're on your church when you're watching a movie, you're on your... People watch, people are on their phones while they're watching TV. Now, you tell me how you're going to do that when you're sitting around. When do you know, Mark, that you are chronically online? And what are the signs that it seems to, it's time to put your phone down, Mark?
You've already given us some decent clues there, because it's really, is it negatively our relationship responsibilities? Does that change when we get away or get called away from our devices? Have we lost interest in other activities, pastimes, things that used to fill our time and give us pleasure? Do we prefer being online than doing things with other people or being present in the moment? Are we using our screen times as coping mechanisms? Sometimes people use them to escape from the uncomfortable realities of life. But in any of these, the questions are always about, is my reality that that I should be present in? Am I being absent because I'm in a different world? And if we look at any of those questions in the affirmative, we should realize that actually, if it's negatively impacting my relationships, my responsibilities, and I can't be present where I am, then I probably need to take a little break.
Should we actually be waiting for someone else to tell us, you're spending a lot of time on your phone and it's time for you to put your phone down? Or are they sort of warning signs that we should actually recognize ourselves and realize that, listen, mentally this is not good for me?
Well, personal management and self-awareness are always going to be better, because then we take ownership of our decisions and we actually realize the impact that we're having. But unfortunately, most people won't realize that, because when you're stuck in your own little world, you're already in adaptive cycles of addictive behavior. And in that space, you're not going to realize. So often it does take other people speaking into our situation. But if you're aware of the negative impacts, I know someone that said they realized they had a problem when it took them half an hour to make a cup of coffee because they kept on scrolling. Other people, there was a presentation I did where one mother stood up and said her daughter asked her, "Why you don't look at me when I speak to you anymore?" I know a lot of families where one person will be on their device and then they'll see the other person on the device, and so instead of engaging, they all just go off to their devices. So sometimes we're not going to be fully aware of what we're doing unless someone else points it out to us. But if we can gather some level of self-awareness and talks and discussions like what we're having now, hopefully we'll get people to self-reflect a bit. And if you can step in before someone else has to say it, then that's always better.
A number of countries, including the UK and Australia, have introduced certain legal things, and I think here in this country we also have a situation whereby we are looking to introduce a lot more control over things like TikTok and Instagram, and especially for children at their particular age. How does being constantly connected affect our physical and mental well-being? I always have this thing, when I get home and I'm going into the kitchen, I'm going to prepare supper, my phone goes away. If there's anything important, certain people know exactly the numbers. They know my wife's number. They can contact if there's an emergency, So the phone goes away and I'm happily in my kitchen for about an hour and a half. So, how does that connectivity affect our physical and mental well-being?
Well, the first question is, what's for dinner, Zain?
Yeah. Well,
the reality is that it's affecting us at a number of levels and often deeper than what we realize, because what's actually happening is that neurobiologically our brains are changing in terms of the reward system that we develop. And with the younger children, that's having a massive impact on and really setting their brains up in a certain way to operate in a normal, which actually isn't normal. I think you and me have grown up in a world before the digital age. We still remember analog. We remember when devices were tools that we used rather than devices being tools that use us, and we become the tool for the device. And so we've got to understand that there's a neurobiological element to it. So that's the first level. We also need to understand that whenever we're online and we watch, especially when it comes to entertainment, news, social media, our body is going to be releasing adrenaline and cortisol, which puts us under constant stress and increases our anxiety levels. And so doing exactly what you just described, by putting your phone down, being present, engaging in activities that actually is multisensory, and just being away from all of that, you immediately start relaxing. We also feel like we're not connected if we're not always being, or we're not socially relevant, if we're not always being aware of what's going on or being a part of what's going on. And actually that develops codependent relationships or codependency with the device to feel like we're a part of something, but we're not really. So we're getting this warped sense of social engagement and this understanding that we're connected, but actually we just know about stuff rather than really being connected with people. So it's affecting relationships in that way. Our sleep patterns is something that you mentioned. Sleep patterns are becoming disruptive. People aren't getting enough quality sleep. And I don't know about you, but if I don't have enough sleep, and I'm pretty grumpy in the morning, and and my relational ability, my performance ability falls away. It suppresses our immune systems. It takes away our ability to concentrate. And once again, we're putting our body into a constant survival mode, which we're fighting just to get through the day. We've changed our ability to pay attention. So now, especially with short format content, we're seeing attention spans battling. Children especially are struggling in school. So that's just some of it. More from a physical perspective, there's TechBear, which puts pressure on our cervical part of our spine, digital eye strain. We're seeing peripheral vision falling away. Eye tracking is affecting children's ability to read and do comprehension, where they're jumping words in sentences because their eyes are so used to just bouncing around the screen. We're getting exposed to a mixture of traumatic and inappropriate content. Yeah. So there's all of these kind of things that are happening. But I think the biggest changes that are affecting us is because we're not connecting with other people in the same healthy way. Our EQ is dropping. We're not able to have conversations with people in person. We're not able to engage without checking in with AI of what we should be responding to. So our being present, being in the moment, being able to relate to each other is one of the biggest impacts that we're seeing. And that obviously is going to impact our mental health.
Chatting this morning to Mark Russell, digital wellness consultant and managing director at TechBear Online. My problem, Russell, is memory. And when we have this accessibility to everything that we can see and what we can access information and stuff immediately, we're not training our memory actually. And that is a big concern for me, especially in children.
I think one of the big struggles with memory is that when we're only using sight and sound, but we're not using other sensory elements. We're not using touch, we're not using smell, we're not using all these other things to actually help reinforce the neurological pathways being developed. It is part of the reason for that. But also the content volume. We're processing way too much content than what our brains are designed for. I mean, our brains are amazing. We can do incredible things with them. But with the amount of content we're actually processing, we're not putting importance in, or order of importance into what we're processing.
Mark Russell, digital wellness consultant, managing director at TechBear Online. Are you using your phone too much? Are you addicted to your phone? Is it affecting your mental well-being? Is it affecting you being present and being in the moment, whether it is at work or whether it is actually? And I wonder if somebody has actually done a study about people who sit at work and are more looking at the Instagram and looking at, especially during the World Cup. Guys were sitting on their phones and watching matches during the Football World Cup. And I wonder if there's a study that's actually been done about that.